Good morning, everybody. How y'all doing? Hope you're doing well. This is actually take two. Yeah, I was I started recording and then some brainstorming was happening and and also I was having some brain fog and yeah, I've only been up for an hour, so yeah, I was kind of all over the place and so forth. And I was then I was like, okay, you know what? There was something that I was trying to think of, some terminology, and it was bugging me. So I'm like, you know what? I'm going to grab my tablet, and then I was just like, okay, I need to look at my birth chart. So I went to grab that, and that's when it stopped recording. In a way, I don't mind because of all the fumbling and so forth, and that helped wake me up a little bit. It's like, wow, yeah. So anyway, um, pretty much what I was talking about was, well, first of all, I have the day off today, so that's awesome. Give myself opportunity to get caught up on some sleep, which is great. And I did last night when I got home. I Okay, I got it. Uh, something else just came through. Okay. So anyway, yeah, when I got home, I started getting caught up on watching all my videos from. I watched Deborah's video with her message for yesterday. It was like, okay. And then I started getting caught up on MJ's. That's MJ Cranmore from Soulful Revolution. Deborah is over. She does post her videos on YouTube, but I've noticed that she's, what's the word I'm trying to think of? What I'm trying to say, basically, I can't think of the word right now. Yeah, like I said, I'm having some brain fog this morning. Um, I can't think. I can't think of Julius. I don't know, but yeah, the word's escaping me right now. But who cares? Anyway, what I was trying to say, she's I know judicious. It's coming to mind, but I know that's not right. But anyway, she minds the store more, basically, is what I'm trying to say as far as the two channels are concerned, her YouTube and Facebook. She's a little bit more better at keeping up with I hate putting it in those terms, but she does it more so with her Facebook than she does with the YouTube. Let's put it that way, okay? It's either that or I just keep having the issues with her videos popping up on my YouTube even with doing searches. I don't know what it is. But anyway, yeah. I have better luck with her Facebook channel. That's Deborah's Enchantment, by the way. It's DEV as in Victor, not B as in boy. All right. That's Deborah's Enchantments. And she also does live readings. She switches times throughout the year depending on times and days anyway. Oh, I just heard a blue jay. Yay! Anyway, she switches times and days, but she right now she's still in her Sunday time. So, anywho, yeah, I started getting caught up with everything last night. There's one more video I have to watch from MJ. That's basically the twin flame reading that she did. But yeah, yesterday with watching Saturdays, she does her she instead of doing a daily message, she goes around the zodiac, okay, and she tailors her readings for the sun, moon, rising, and Venus signs. I seeing how my sun and Venus are the same sign. I actually watch my sun, moon, rising, North Node, and Lilith. Those ones, and there's also one other that I watch, which I won't mention. Okay, for personal reasons. I'll admit that I'm watching it just to kind of give me an idea with, I don't want to say to know what's going on in someone else's life, but just to kind of gauge where they're at or whatever. Okay, let's put it that way. All right. I won't mention what sign it is or anything. So, anywho, but yeah, I'll usually watch those readings as well. Even when she puts out the messages for the month or mid-month, okay, I'll usually watch those as well. So there's a lot of video watching that I do. But, and that's the thing too that I learned about recently. I'm still learning a lot about the zodiac, to be perfectly honest, when it comes to astrology. There's a lot that I'm still learning. But I learned here recently that each of the signs, the major signs, are also, when you look at your birth charts, it says, okay, like for instance, your Saturn, let me just read off mine since I have it pulled out. Like my Saturn is 18 degrees in Cancer, okay? So, anyway, each of those signs, it's broken up into those degrees, all right? And those degrees, how do I say this? The signs are broken up into, each sign, okay, let me back up. Back up it just a little bit more here, child. I know, it's still early for me. Each sign is represented by an element, all right? There's four elements here, all right? In case you don't know, let's go ahead and go over that. All right, so you have the four elements. You have water, earth, air, and fire, okay? And each of those elements encompasses 3 signs, all right? Let's stick with Scorpio. Scorpio is a water sign. I know, but that throws everybody off all the time. It's like, how is it that Scorpio, represented by the scorpion, is a water sign? Well, back in the day, when Western astrology was first developed or first being developed and so forth, there actually were and are water scorpions. Okay, so that's where it comes from. All right. I know, because when you think of scorpions, you usually think of the desert and so forth. Perfect example. These little guys that I wear right here. I can't really see it. Yeah, there's one of them. And then, let me see if I can. There we go. A little bit. There's one. That's the one that stung me. That one, not specifically. It was a much bigger one. And I wear them on that same hand or that wrist where that scorpion stung me 17 times, by the way. Yeah, it hurt. Anyway, hurt is putting it mildly. But anyway, back to what I was talking about. So with each of the signs, they're also broken up by the degrees according to their fellow into the 3 signs of that particular element is what I'm trying to say. So, for instance, with Scorpio, it's broken up 0 to 9, 10 to 19, and then 20 through 29. Okay, and it's going to go in order according to cardinal, fixed, or mutable sign. All right. So, for instance, with Scorpio being water sign, it's going to be taken in each of its each of the 3 signs. So, starting with the cardinal sign, which is Cancer. Okay, so 0 through 9 is going to be Cancer. All right, then 10 through 19 is going to be the position for the fixed sign, which is Scorpio. Okay, so 10 through 19 is going to be Scorpio. And this is all up underneath the main sign of Scorpio, okay? And then 20 through 29 is the fixed signs position, which is Pisces. Okay, so you could think of it as like the subset. Okay, the subcategory up underneath the main category, I guess you could say. Okay, whatever. I hope that makes sense because I just got confused myself. So anyway, the reason why I bring that up is, seeing how I haven't really in the past been paying too much attention to the Venus side of the Scorpio reading. And I'm like, that's why I pulled out the birth chart. I'm like, where is my Venus placement? And then maybe, because with the direction that I'm going down in my path, I'm getting rid of that chaos out of my life. I am fed up with it and so forth. I'm done with it. I've had it my whole life with things I've talked about. Not just with my own physical entanglements. With being in sticky situations, with job related and so forth. Not just with that, but also family drama. Feeling like, especially with being an only child, feeling like in many ways was having to raise my parents, at least to a certain extent, dealing with some of the, with their issues and so on and so forth. It's like I never, I have felt like in many ways that my personal side, my personal feelings get brushed aside. I've never really had an opportunity to really be able to explore myself. I always have felt like that I've had to be appeasing them. Trying, I want all of it. I've always felt like I've always had to be kind of like a people pleaser. But then again, with when I started down this road, the spiritual road, and I pulled my birth chart and started learning about things, especially when I came to learning about the nodes. My north node is in Sag, okay? But your south node is the opposite sign, all right? So in this case, Gemini. And your north node represents what you're here to learn now, in this life. Your south node represents what you mastered in your previous life, in this case, Gemini. So in my past life, everything was about learning how to get along with people, and we can have a tendency to fall back on that because it's recognizable. We've learned it, we've mastered it, it's easy. And with your north node, it's what the challenge is, and that has been a challenge, and that's what I'm learning now, especially how I can master not only, continuing with what I mastered with the previous life, but how do I incorporate that in learning how to learn about myself, especially my spiritual path, especially about my spirituality, trusting in all that, trusting in my intuition, trusting in my connection with spirit, trusting in what I'm feeling with other people, and knowing how to differentiate their emotions, because I am a very strong empath. I can read a room very, very easily. How it is that I am able to learning the difference with their emotions versus what I'm feeling, and what my emotions actually are. And that's the tricky part. So that's what I'm here to be learning. And unfortunately, with all of that I have been dealing with, has jumbled a lot of things up. And that's where my spiritual path is right now. So I can figure out what it is that I really want. this is making a lot of sense. Because I did jump up on the live reading with Deborah this morning and asked her, because she does like mini readings for free for everybody during this hour. It's basically from 10 to 11 Eastern in the morning on Sundays right now. Anyway, so yeah, and I jumped up on there just to ask her the question, because I've been pondering with this job that I've started. Yeah, I have my concerns. Excuse me, sorry about that. I have my concerns with the job satisfaction. I have my concerns with being able to get all my hours and so forth. And that did happen yesterday with my trainer. They let her go half hour early. Oh no, it wasn't yesterday, the day before. They let her go half hour early. So it is, and no, that's right. Yesterday I was asking her, because I start working the night shift basically 2 to 11. I take an hour for lunch, which I've been enjoying instead of rushing through 30 minutes and then my stomach is just like, ugh, afterwards. It gives my stomach an opportunity to calm down, especially with dealing with the gut issues. So, anyway, and heck, if they are offering that option, I'd much rather take it. This isn't about being dissatisfied in the job and wanting to get the hell out of there as quickly as possible, for me anyway. This is a personal experience. Yes, it is. It does have the earth element of making money and so on and so forth. But this is a personal experience also. So I'm giving myself opportunities to grow. But anyway, what I was asking her is, with starting the new job, is it going to be a situation where it's just a stepping stone to something else later on in the future? Because I have been seriously considering working on my portfolio, maybe doing 2 different portfolios, excuse me, and then getting something, doing graphic design work again, or am I going to be a lifer? And that was the question. So, and I've had the discussion with my friend that I'm staying with right now. Her name is Angie. I had that discussion with her on Friday, and she doesn't see me staying. She sees it more as a stepping stone. But I just wanted to get some more spiritual insight, messages from the guides and so forth. And getting a little bit more information. And I felt like that with asking Deborah the question, it was more of a springboard to get to start getting more of the insights. What exactly is it that I'm here, especially now that I'm getting through the first couple of weeks, because I needed to get things situated with my benefits. I only had 30 days, so I have all that plus all the training and so on and so forth. And it's like, okay, let's find out why I'm here. I mean, I know why I've been here. It's decent pay and so forth, but of course, like I said, concerned about the hours, concerned about job satisfaction, and so on and so forth. But and of course, I have my end goal. I want to be able to buy a house, have my little garden, so on and so forth. So, yeah, I just wanted, I felt like that I needed that springboard. So I can start more in here instead of up here, because the monkey brain churning, and unfortunately my monkey brain can have a tendency to cloud issues that I'm trying to find out answers to that I know are in here. So, and that's something else I'm working on, is how to balance the two. So, well, actually three, because the other one just flared up at two, or spoke its mind too. The gut, that gut instinct. So, learning how to balance all three. So, but she said something that really resonated. Basically, the very first card that she pulled out, it really resonated. It was the Fool card, that new beginning, but it was inverted. And it's like, no, you're going to be there for a while. There's quite a few lessons that you're going to be learning. So, and you need to learn those, and that way you can take those lessons to teach other people. And that resonated big time. That's something that I wanted to do. So, yeah, I see it. So, whether it's, I don't know how that teaching is going to look, whether it's me being a life coach, or, because that's something else that has been popping up quite a bit, or me doing graphic design, going over maybe to Llewellyn or what have you. I looked at Hay House, at least looked at some of their job descriptions, whether they were related to what I'm wanting to pursue or not, just to get a feel of the atmosphere. And of course, taking a look at their designs and so forth. I love their cards or whatever, but I was looking at other things as well. I don't think it's going to be very conducive to what I'm looking for. I feel that Llewellyn is a little bit more the atmosphere that I'm looking for, whatever, but I'm not too sure if it's that road. Because at the same point, when I think about it, I get that pushback feeling, like, okay, there's things to learn there, but I get that pushback feeling. So that's what I'm trying to differentiate. But I know that there's quite a few things that I have to learn at my current position. And I'm not talking about job skills. I'm talking about personal, spiritual growth is what I'm talking about, that personal spiritual growth. So that's what I'm going to be looking at. And with going back to what I was talking about with my Venus, the love, and because Venus isn't just the ruler of love, like relationships or whatever. She's also rules our own personal self-love, our personal self-growth in those arenas, but also with our financial positions as well. So, and they both, at least, and both are encompass each other, okay? Because you can't really manifest from earthly possessions and so forth if you don't love yourself, so, or have love in your life. And I'm talking about starting with the personal self. Everything starts from the personal self. You can't love somebody else unless you love yourself, unless you do your shadow work and learn to embrace it, encompass it, part of your life, embrace it, and give it the love that it needs. It isn't a matter of trying to overpower it, okay? It's about embracing it and giving it the love that it needs and deserves as well, okay? So we're all shadow and light, and you can't just try and take that shadow and push it away like what I feel like I was being taught with my more dogmatic spiritual journey. Okay, we'll put it that way. It's a way that, because it was like I felt like that with that journey, it was about, okay, love one another, so on and so forth. Well, what about the self? Well, it's difficult to be able to love one another unless you explore those shadow sides, not only the light sides of yourself, but also the shadow sides of yourself. And the reason why I was saying it, with what I feel like that I was being taught, was with looking at, okay, it's like there's these rules, we'll say, okay, with you shouldn't cover your neighbor's wife, and thou shalt not steal, and so forth. Well, those are all shadow aspects of yourself. And I feel like that, oh, don't do this, don't do that. Well, there's a reason why you're being tempted to do those things, okay? And that's where the shadow work comes in. And you have to embrace it and love it, to know it's there. Yeah, obviously don't go down that path, don't do drugs, all that sort of stuff. But there's a reason why you're being tempted to go down those paths. And you need to explore those issues to understand it, to embrace it, to give it the love so it will calm down. Okay? Know it's still there. Know the temptations are still there, but it's calming. Okay? Maybe there's a reason why you're a sex addict. That sacral chakra being activated on a constant basis. Why? Explore it to help calm it down. To love it to help calm it down. Okay? That's what I'm working on. Figuring, that's where I feel that, especially like with the anxieties or whatever that I have, it's like, okay, why? And this has been this job has been a major trigger for me with a lot of that. So it's like, okay, explore it. Okay, it isn't just because Mercury is in retrograde, which he has been, but explore those aspects with Mercury being in retrograde or whatever. So yeah, I've been exploring not just things, with the job or what have you, but also more personal aspects, like relationships and so forth. It's like, yeah. So, and learning to trust what I'm feeling and so forth, instead of letting the monkey brain, the ego brain, basically try to take over or what have you. So, anywho, that's where I am at, and learning how to calm that stuff down and so forth. But yeah, I did that. Have been doing my yoga the past couple of mornings. And I did get over to Whole Foods, buy some mixed nuts. I want to get back to that healthy life again. I don't mind, I don't want to call it cheating, but, indulging, okay? I prefer to call it indulging, but I want to get back to my healthy eating and so forth. I've been off of that diet for a while, gained a little bit of weight, not much, but a little bit, and it's like, no, I want to get back to my healthy eating my organics, the grass-fed, free range, all those sorts of foods. Little bit of refined sugars. Of course, this is Easter season, so yeah, there's all those candies out there. I have a sweet tooth. I know it. I love them. Yeah. Cadbury eggs. I don't care if it's the mini eggs or the classics, the classic cream eggs. It's like, love them. Sorry, it's going to happen. It's okay. It's okay to indulge. It's not that big of a deal, but I don't want that to be, and of course, with the financial situation and my friends, chipping in to buying things, I don't want to overextend their budgets either, So I'll use the word settling for the others, the more conventional foods or what have you, with the exception of produce. I'm sorry, I put my foot down on that. But as far as meats are concerned, it's like, okay, but I'm getting back onto my other diet that I prefer to be on, that I do a lot better on. So, but yeah, I had my food stamps. It's the last of them. Yeah, I have every intention of not getting back on them ever again. I spent most of it, and I just have a little bit extra, and then that's it. Check the card. Start making that transition of back to supporting myself again. yeah, it's been understandable because of going through everything with the move and so forth, but now it's time that I, you know, start making those transitions over to the path that I want to be living on, taking care of my body, basically the what my soul is occupying in, doing the proper maintenance with this, eating the right foods and so forth, and with that I'll be able, of course, to cut back on my insulins, which is good. Do the yoga, doing my morning meditation, do the yoga. Taking care, that helps calm the body down, stretches things out and so forth, especially my problem areas, stretch everything out. So the body and, of course, the monkey brain can calm down. I noticed a huge difference the last couple of days with work because of it. And also go for my walks, getting back out in nature. That's also very meditative. So being connected with nature. So I want to start doing that as well. But taking it slow, not rushing into anything. Because I know I'm going to have these varying schedules and so forth. Go with the flow. Learning how to go with the flow. That's the thing. So, yeah. That's what I'm working on right now. So, yeah. And it feels nice. It feels nice going down this road that I've been wanting to go down for quite a long time. And I noticed that over there too, part of my training has been the 2025 spring collection. And happened to walk by the seed packets area, where they have all of those. And they do sell organics. So I was kind of wondering about that. And I know the very first one that I want to get, basil. Yeah, I'd love to grow some basil. I have loved growing basil in the past, but I'll start my herb garden. I figure I'd start with the herb garden. That's one nice thing about the plants, whether it's herbs or even like tomatoes or whatever. You can do container gardening. So I can start doing that, and I can bring it in. That's the one nice thing about doing the container gardening. When the weather gets too cold or whatever, especially here in Minnesota, you can bring it in, just put it there next to a window, excuse me, or what have you. So, it could still get at least diffused lighting. Maybe take it outside as long as it's not too cold and doesn't shock the plants or whatever. And, you can, and I can take it with me, when I move. So I definitely want to see about starting to do that as well. Definitely not this paycheck. I was looking at my hours that I got in, because of course I had to miss work between my sensor, stopping working, and then being sick there for the couple of days. I only worked a couple of days this week, so yeah, not going to be doing quite a few things that I wanted to be able to do. And of course, the previous week my hours had got slashed quite a bit. So it's a bigger paycheck than what I got initially, but of course I have to pay for all those bennies that I just signed up for too. So and I've got my sensors that I'm going to have to be replacing. Plus I was looking at my bottle of Lantus, and that's going to be coming up too. And I have got to get into an endocrinologist. And as soon as I, excuse me, find out that insurance information, I can start calling around and see who takes without a referral from a primary. That's going to be important. Otherwise, I'm going to have to go through the process of going into a primary and then getting a referral over to, it's going to be, so that's going to be time consuming, and I might have to pay for that bottle of Lantus because I'm about halfway through it right now, and I might have to pay out of pocket for that bottle of Lantus out of this paycheck too. Plus, with the hours that I'm going to be working, I might be able to get rides to work, but coming home, that's going to be a different story. I'm not entirely too sure. how well that's going to work out. So I'm going to have to set money aside for some Uber rides. So yeah, and hopefully I'll be able to get an Uber out here at that time of night. I'm sure I probably will because of the bars, some of them will be doing bar runs, some of the drivers. But I'm sure I probably will because I don't want to be trying to walk home in the middle of the night because it's pretty dark, that stretch of road. So, and this week, just as a reminder, Rick is going to be having his surgery on Wednesday, so definitely send some positive energy our way for that as well. So, and he's been a little bit tense, so yeah, start sending that energy over. So, anywho, yeah, things that I really want to be able, and I need to be able to buy some food, and according to my calculations, I'm looking at working with about $400. So that's going to last me for a couple of weeks, and I definitely will have to get my sensors during that time. It's just going to be the Lantus. I think I might be able to make it. I'm fairly certain, but I'm going to have to do out of pocket with that before I'm going to be able to run it through insurance. Either way, I'm going to have a copay with that anyway, and it's going to work out to be about the same. So, but running it through the insurance, I'll be able to get a 90-day supply for that same price. So, yeah. But anywho, that's what I'm looking at. Oh, so unfortunately, I know there was a book I was going to see about buying. It's not going to happen this paycheck. We'll look at it with the next paycheck. And I was looking to hopefully be able to send for the rest of my stuff to be sent out here. Probably the next couple of paychecks. I'm going to have to spread it out that way. So, but one nice thing with being sick those couple of days, yeah, it did affect my chest area, but I bounced back real fast. I did bounce back really fast, so that's a positive. Most definitely, that's a positive sign right there. And doing my yoga stretches definitely helped with that as well. And sometimes after I've had a lapse in between doing my yoga, I'll get some inflammation in here. Nope, and it's been chilly. So, yay, love it. Love it, love it, love it. Making progress, making improvements. So, but yeah, definitely. And who knows? Maybe with seeing a primary, maybe they might be able to figure some things out, and maybe I might be able to not have to make that 2-hour trip down to Rochester to the Mayo Clinic. The option is still there until August 4th, and see what happens. It's all about the baby steps, one step at a time. That's what matters. So, yeah, love it. So, anywho, today I'm going to do some baking, bake some brownies with some walnuts, all organic. That's going to be awesome. And let's see here. Yeah, I got walnuts as far as for me to munchie on for snackies. Walnuts, pecans, almonds, and hazelnuts, all raw, not roasted. And I always prefer raw nuts, and they've been delicious. I got a terrible craving for them, and I was like being impatient getting my food stamps so I can make that run to Whole Foods and get them. I was like, oh, and then I, of course, only have $100 to spend. I'm like, come on, you can do it. So, but I'm getting there. So, anyway, yeah, all that. And, of course, I got myself some chicken and some oranges and some butter and so forth, too. So, but anywho, which reminds me, I need to look that up. So, yeah, I'm making some progress here. It's been awesome. I'm loving it. And starting down that path, the path that I really have wanted to be on for quite a while. So, yay, loving all of this. So, anywho, I'm gonna do that. Go for my walk, do my yoga. Also gonna I did get myself a little bit of a treat, some bacon and some potatoes. So I'm gonna cook myself some breakfast. Do some fried potatoes and bacon. Do a little treat there. Love it. And I did take butter out last night, so I might make my brownies first. But if I'm going to do all this, it's already 10:30. I need a good hour and a half between my yoga and my walks and my meditation. So I should get myself rolling. And I might cook myself some of that chicken. I'm not too sure. I'll have to. Yeah, I will need to do that. So, but yeah, do all that. I got a little bit on my list to do. Plus, take care of this little one with her box. Yeah, it's a little bit full. I know. I need to do that today too. And then next day I have off is Tuesday. I'll have off all that day. So Tuesday and Thursday are the days that I have off. So, yeah, this is awesome. Oh, that's what else I had to do today. I just remembered. I need to run to Walgreens. I can do that on Tuesday. No big deal. So, or no, I should do it today, just in case. But tomorrow night. I may get off at 11. I was trying to gauge as to what time, because, you know, that the store closes at 10. And will it be we're kept until 11, or will it be that we're let go early, you know, so I can let my friends know, or if I need to call for an Uber or something. I'm not entirely too sure. I need to look at their schedules too, to see for tomorrow night if either of them are working on Tuesday. I think Angie is. Yeah, she is, so she won't be. That's right, because she's taken Wednesday off because of the surgery. So, and I know I'm going to need to do an Uber on Wednesday. So, yeah, it's just going to be tomorrow night if Rick is working Tuesday morning or not. I don't remember. I don't think so, but I'll have to double check. So, but anywho, yeah. Anyway, that would be a good idea, come to think of it. I just thought of that. So, anyway, I'll have to bring that up to him. That would be a good idea. All right. So, lots to do. I need to get myself moving. I know. All right. I love you guys. I love you. I love you very much. I'll talk to y'all soon.